just keep fumbling my words.
Lori Haynes Arguello from the city of SeaTac
I was shocked.
is among many
I was shocked.
across the nation feeling blindsided.
Where's the money is my question.
Arguello feels cheated by a charity that was designed to help her starting 23 years ago when she got the shock of her life.
I thought I had a cold, the flu. I wasn't feeling well.
She had a very rare condition called aplastic anemia.
And my white cells were very, very low.
In 2001, the only procedure that could save her life, a bone marrow transplant. It would cost $160,000 just to get on the registry.
You know, what are we gonna do?
She says an employee at Fred Hutch Cancer Center in Seattle handed her a brochure for the National Foundation for Transplants. Its longtime mission, helping patients crowdfund. This was long before the days of GoFundMe.
They put a link on the website so people could donate for my cause. Anything medically transplant related, I was able to submit a form and get reimbursed for it.
With her fundraising page in 2004, not only was Arguello able to afford her procedure,
There was over $400,000 left.
nearly $500,000 in donations were left.
I thought would be there for me for the rest of my life.
But this April, the nonprofit suddenly ceased operations, and that money Lori thought she had
And all of a sudden, it's all gone.
seemingly vanished. All that's left is a banner with a static FAQ page reading, quote, "Neither you nor any donor has personal ownership or financial accounts with us, and all contributions were received for NFT's discretionary use." The National Foundation for Transplants did not return my requests for comment, but they did say on their FAQ page that tax law and IRS regulations prevent the earmarking of any donation. I fact-checked that, and it's true. But whether the foundation was upfront about that is unclear. Did they promise you that there would be an account in your name?
Yeah.
We saw a contract from a different Washington patient. We showed it to a contract's attorney, who pointed out two lines.
I think it is contradictory that there's a reference to a kind of patient account versus the general account.
Later in the document, Stacia Hoffman spotted the words lifetime commitment.
A judge would be very concerned of using such strong language.
And quote, "Funds collected for a patient will remain in his or her account for life." You may be wondering, how did Arguello raise so much money in the first place? Turns out she's a survivor because of survivors. A Washington pilot named Captain Al Haynes of United Flight 232 became famous in 1989
Put our best resources and knowledge together and did what we thought was best.
after one of the biggest plane crashes in American history. Captain Haynes has a connection to Arguello. He's her dad. Haynes pulled off what would later be called the impossible landing. Sadly, 112 people died in the fiery crash, but 184 people, the majority, lived. Survivors like Israel Brownstein called Haynes their hero.
I would not be alive without Captain Haynes.
But he's always been my hero.
And just like how her dad made the impossible possible for 184 people,
It was their way to give back to Dad.
those crash survivors
I felt compelled to do something about it.
returned the favor
Set a record for the largest campaign.
and started donating money.
We wanted to band together to do whatever we could.
Brownstein tells me in the early 2000s he called the National Foundation for Transplants twice to make sure his funds would go directly to Arguello.
I was reassured that there were two reasons. Number one, the money was going to go directly to her. Number two, it was a way for her to organize her medical expenses.
Now Arguello and at least one other Washingtonian have issued complaints to Washington's Attorney General's office. Amid the wait for answers, Arguello is less concerned about her own health or finances.
I'm healthy and I'm very lucky.
She's more concerned for the patients with remaining balances who are still in need.
They're sick. They need the help.
Her dad, Captain Haynes, died an aviation hero in 2019. Now, 5 years later, it's only fitting that his daughter
He would be so mad. Oh, he would be very upset.
is channeling his courage.
There has to be something that can be done.
How recently was Fred Hutch Cancer Center recommending patients to this organization? A spokesperson returned my request for comment but said they cannot share that detail. I'm Maddie White, King 5 News.